What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's because I will cover more infinite Magicraid content. Now before we get into this video, please do click like, subscribe and comment below to help this channel grow. Okay, so I've been asked to do a video on Faction Abyss and what heroes I used to clear through some of these. And yes, okay, I am pretty far on and I know that you need a ton of heroes to clear through this, okay? I understand that, but I'm going to try and help you decide who you could probably use to clear the most of it, the best you can, without having to have like a ton of other heroes. It's tough. It's very tough because we all know how hard Faction Abyss is anyway. But let's start on Dragon Tribe and what heroes are like the best in Dragon Tribe to use. Well, obviously, Hoff, Nasil, Wim, Hisonia and Melia is an amazing team. The fact is we can CC with Nasil the waves, and then, well, we can just nuke down the boss pretty much with Melia and Hisonia and Hoff as well. Other than that, you know, Natalie can be a very good choice, but you would need to have, say, at least exclusive one so that she's refreshing those bleeds for the waves. Trouble is she doesn't have a counter-attacking hero to go with her. Vera unfortunately isn't amazing. Greta could be useful for some single target damage and for some selective CC. Ariel, she's very squishy unfortunately. No, Sinov is another very good hero for Faction Abyss, especially Dragon Tribe. You know, she's just very good in a team in general. So you could definitely build her up. Other than that, I haven't tested any of these others. Blade is a hero I do want to look into. I do want to look into Blade. I've forgotten her name, but she has a kind of a weird kit. But you know, the main ones for Dragon Tribe are Hisonia, Melia, Wim, Hoff, Nasil. I know it's a long way, okay, but that's what I used to get through. For Sword Harbour Guards, well, this one's a little bit easier than the others because we have the likes of Catherine. Now, if you have Sigmund and Catherine, it's fantastic because you can counterattack twice. You also got AoE clearance, but other heroes that are very good for Sword Harbour Guards are Zia. She can nuke down, and when she's exclusive, she can also do a lot of AoE damage. Yoko can be very good for clearing waves too, don't forget, but she would also need at least one exclusive. Luz is a great hero. That's the one at 104, just here. He's a very good damage dealer, and he also has leech, so he can regain some health too. Solly would be useful. I've never built up Solly, so I can't really suggest too much on him. Melina is okay, but she's very, very gear dependent, so that then is a very hard choice as well. Who else could we use? Oboro wouldn't be too amazing in Faction Abyss. Justy would be pretty good. One moment, who is this one and who is this one again? Is this Justy? I think this is Justy. I think it's Justy. Pretty sure it is. Oh goodness, I should have gone through to the gallery. So I'm not too helpful there. If you're good at picture, then yes, this guy can be pretty helpful in Faction Abyss. You know, Verto could also be pretty good for Sigmund, even when he's dead, because it grants an effect hit. So that's possibly, I mean, it's not going to get you 3 stars, but it's definitely an idea. Or is this Justy? Or is that Claude? Either way, I think it's Justy that's a good one for Faction Abyss. I apologise. Sunset Sage, I'm not too far on Sunset Sage. Ruin is okay. Horus can do quite a bit. I did have him, I regressed him. Guhana is, of course, very good for Sunset Stage. You know, she's pretty much the only healer we have. Slack, though, can be fantastic. He can do a good amount of damage. Naskama can be good because he can horrify the waves, meaning, you know, they've got a 50% chance of not taking a turn, so that can be very useful. Sana can do a decent amount of AoE damage, and Alahan can also be very good in Sunset Stages, thanks to his... God. My goodness. It's very hard to remember off by heart all the time. You know how it is, guys. Come on. Where is Alahan here? It's hard to say. But the trouble is, there's not anyone that has really shield, but he can, he has a 40% chance to inflict a stun, which can be useful. He does restore some max health and increases their attack by 40% whenever this ally destroys an enemy target's shield. Well, we're not going to have any shields here, so that's completely useless. I apologize. His second ability makes the okay, so this is the one that is useful. With Guhana as well, it means that the highest health hero we have. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Jeez. The highest health percentage ally we have will match everyone to the same. So if we're low all of a sudden, we can match everyone to the highest health, which is very helpful. And the one layer of random buff isn't really going to help. But he does restore a bit of health as well from the damage he deals to them. So he can be useful. I believe a Prophesite is okay. I really should have made this a more in-depth video, but I'm just trying to show you what I used to go through Faction Abyss. Where is it Shapatite, sorry. Inflicts severe wound, but then affects it? No, I wouldn't. Coltham, it could be very useful. Restores an ally's maximum health. Copies all the buffs on self and grants them to this ally. Damage immunity can be very nice as well. Defense up and shield can be useful. Attack down is very good for the boss, and defense down is also helpful to nuke them down. So that's another one that we could use to push through Faction Abyss. Moving on to Foresters. That's stage 23, and the heroes that I used would be Luna, Maeve. I didn't use Megan. I used Gru. However, I've kind of lost Gru. I had to regress him. Serena was very good, and Taff was very good. So all these heroes here are very good. They'll push you a long way. But Gru also helps a lot with survivability-wise. Now, Melassa would probably be good. You could probably use Melassa and Stan maybe for poisons. I don't quite know how that would work, but it would be useful. There's quite a few epics in here. But the trouble is, I haven't tested them all, so I can't just say, well, they're going to be good. Pachinko, is it Pachinko? Pachinko? He's pretty good. Was it Pacino? He grants a little shield. He can be pretty helpful for survivability as well. But if you have Luna, then you're pretty safe to progress through quite a lot of Foresters. Doom Legion has some pretty good heroes as well. We have the likes of Besmok. If you've got exclusives on Besmok, make the most of him. Okmin is very, very useful. Margarita can help. Lucifer, of course, is very, very good. And Liz is super, super strong. And Gunnar can help a bit as well. Jennifer, I mean, if you have her and you don't have, anyone else to use, she could be helpful. But she's not fantastic. We really want to, Faction Abyss gets very strong, but Okmin could clear through quite a few waves, actually, Okmin and Liz together, or Margarita, Okmin and Liz, considering that Margarita is free. Loof would be useful. Loof would be a useful epic here with the health burn. It means that we could, you could draft him in onto Holy Light Parliament. Now, Holy Light Parliament's a tricky one. Frey is very good. Elena is very good. And Maya, of course, is very good. I'd like to see someone testing Shalda, the defense hero down here, on Holy Light Parliament as well. Elena can be very useful. Of course, you have to have these heroes boot up. And this is why Faction Abyss is very, very tough, guys. Claude is another very good damage dealer. And he can be useful, but he is going to need that support. Fegan can be pretty useful as well in tower, and a bit of other content too. Rosalia, I would avoid from that, and Kaido as well can be very good. Granting shield, etc. So this is the main where you really want to look. It's like Frey, Maya would probably progress you quite a bit through Holy Light Parliament together. They would. If you've thrown in Fegan as well, that's going to help you with survivability too. So maybe going down that route. And Forgotten is another tough one, unless you have the likes of Thanatos. Tuck was fantastic. Zyra was fantastic. Grandy was fantastic. Mai was actually pretty good, but she does need some exclusives to unlock that potential. And Hisaro was obviously fantastic. He was a main damage dealer here. Other than that, what could we use? I wouldn't go down the route of building a Malik. Deshanel can be very useful in this faction abyss. Yeah, I mean, Deshana will help you, but Tuck and Hisaro, the real MVPs. Tuck and Hisaro was the real MVPs here. Zyra as well for the CC, and obviously Grandy played a huge part. And you know, I know he's at A5, but he just has the gear on. He's only 113 in level, but you know, he did very, very well. I was actually very impressed by him. Moving on to Eternal Sector. Now, Eternal Sector is quite a tough one. Dario will be very useful. Asindo also is very useful. Poseidon can help you buff up, say, someone that's going to deal damage, so don't ever knock him. Agatha, of course, you're not going to have Agatha for a long time, so don't even consider that. Turf can help a lot as well with his poisons, his counterattack, and his shield. As for his self-sustainability, Cial would be pretty good too to help with the survivability of the team. Ignore Carry. Horrify may be useful, but not overly. Zach Zulu doesn't quite do enough, but he may do pretty good early on in the early stages of Faction Abyss. Lamb would be a nice one to have if you had one with enough exclusives. Winx would be quite a cool hero, but definitely Cial. Poseidon, Winx. And yeah, like Dario, Asindo, and Turf are all very, very good. So it is a tough one to progress through. It is a tough one to progress through because we don't have the likes of like tons of healers to look for. You know, it's you're going to need someone like Cial in there to help with a bit of survivability. Nameless Brotherhood. Now, interestingly, Hardak got me up to I think stage 16. Hardak alone got me up to stage 16, but now we have the likes of Dustin here is very, very good. We have the likes of Mutu, who has been in it for a while, but he is also very good, and he, you know, put a bit of leech in him. He can sustain quite well, but definitely Hardak, definitely Dustin, definitely Mutu if you have him built. Garena can be useful with her immunity and revive. Sinton, I don't like Sinton in PvE, I apologise. Lomaz can be quite good with his bleeds. Timmy here is not very viable. Timmy's more for tower. Aisha will help you a little bit early on, but she does fall off later in the game. And Gustav, I just wouldn't go down that route. Frick, I haven't looked in enough Frick to put a real view out there on him. Wolsey is not going to be any good. We don't have enough poisons around. Mori, no, Mori, you know, it's Hardak all day long. Hardak is your best option for Nameless Brotherhood, and the likes of Dustin. You'll progress a very long way with those two. Definitely up to stage 15. Now, Wizard's Eye. What is the best way to use this? Daisy can be very, very good for Wizard's Eye. Space is amazing as well, and Elik is another great survival. Slaval also is a very good hero. Don't go building Valentine. Nidrold can do a lot in Wizard's Eye. So he is a very good hero to have as well. Ana, you would need a ton of exclusives. I feel like Ana still needs a rework. HAL 9000. Well, no, we don't build HAL 9000, do we, guys? What's her name? Eden. Eden would be pretty useful, but we have space, so she's kind of replaced by that. What's her name again? What is her name again? I don't think Sylvester's any good. Is this Sadora? I think Sadora's useful as well. I think this chick here, yeah, I think she's useful as well. And what is her name? Oh goodness, off the top of my head, is it? I could have found it by now. But I don't think she's any good anyway. So what's the point in me even? Yeah. What's the point of me even trying to, you know? But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my... I can only really show you what I've used and the way I progressed through these. So I hope it gives you some kind of idea to it. It's very, very hard, guys, to give, you know, just... The trouble is, there's just so much content in this game. So many heroes. And it's very hard for content creators to really give you the advice, you know, because everyone has a different roster. Everyone's a different way ahead. Hardak is fantastic for progressing through Nameless Brotherhood, and he's an epic. I mean, Catherine's going to be in Sword Harbor. We have Hizonia and Melia for Dragon Tribe. You know, Sana could probably progress a long way in Sunset Sages on her own. Foresters, we have the likes of Taff, Maeve, Luna. Doom Legion, we have Lucifer, Margarita, Liz, Okmin. So there's some good heroes in there, but some of the factions are very tough on heroes to build for. And the thing is, you need to build heroes where are going to progress through the whole game. This is very late game if you're focusing on Faction Abyss. So I hope it's given you some ideas on what you would do or what you have in your roster to possibly use in the factions listed on Cards at the Ball. Thank you very much for watching. And if you feel like I didn't quite cover the points on what you wanted to hear, feel free to comment below and I'll try my best to answer you. Thanks again everyone for watching. Take care.